Has anybody ever checked the salivary pH? I checked the salivary pH for after ulcer. They were all acidic. Have you ever thought in that angle? All after ulcer, salivary pH is acidic. You will not find caries in a dog. I had so many dogs, and all of them gave dog, sheep. No, because the saliva is so alkaline. I asked the dental dean, sir, why is it animals don't have caries? Here, everybody is having some. We have to look into it, he said. But when the saliva is highly alkaline, caries cannot happen. You see, there are so many things we can do with very basic fundamental measures, but these are things we are not doing.
That's a very good thing, sir. So I fully agree with you that even in this, as per the WHO's theme of my health, my right, even protecting the population from these food additives, which are leading to some ill health, is very important. And whatever you
That is true. But
do,
concerning the WHO, when they started the vaccine work, which I forget the name of the man, he advocated and every day. I told my mother, don't touch the vaccine because a cardiac event is waiting to happen. You
yes,
see
sir.
a movie called Sudden Death. How many people are suddenly inspired? Nothing, they have died. My mother, after taking the vaccine, in 3 months, suddenly she had a cardiac arrest and she passed away. So the WHO also I have zero opinion about, because what have they done concerning preventive health? No, they have also an ulterior motive. In my opinion, I know it's a wrong thing I'm saying again. I have scant regard for WHO because they have scant regard for human health. Where have they advocated phytates in the rice of Indians is blocking iron? How can you unblock the phytate? Add a little lime. Is there a WHO office in India telling Indian, listen, add a little lime to your rice because rice is blocking iron? How many mothers are suffering? Please
Yes,
check your iron status. Are they doing it? They have not done that. They have not done that. So I have zero opinion about WHO, absolutely, because they have not really done anything to promote health. They have done some rubbish, and I know it's a nice, not a nice thing, but some rubbish they advocate. I did a study looking at tonsil patients. Why is it that only some get tonsils? We found the only thing that matters is zinc. Now, in that regard, I looked at those who are getting tuberculosis, with tuberculosis program, DOT program. Every Indian take one zinc tablet a week for 1 year. 1 year, run it. We will clear ourselves of tuberculosis. Do we have a national policy? Look at the blood level of zinc of 32 milligram per deciliter. Every Indian should have a zinc. It will not spread. For the tuberculosis bacteria to spread to another individual, the zinc level should be low. Only then it will spread. Have we had a national policy? Look at the number of students who suddenly have an appendicitis. They are all those with low level zinc. Zinc is a cornerstone of immunity. Do we have a policy advisory on zinc level? No, we don't have.
just
I know
one.
I'm talking.
Are you in the any policy making member of any
No, no,
policy
no, no,
station or?
no, no. Because the moment some policy making thing happens, it will be in a skewed direction, and it will be not promoting health. They will have their own agenda. So, Paul and me, with your support, we will launch our own policies in the open market on a media platform. Every Indian should have a hemoglobin 15. Every Indian saliva should be alkaline. Every Indian's homocysteine should be below 15.
Yes,
100% medical colleges will be empty of patients. I know it's a risky game, but
yes, sir.
having started my zinc on tonsils, after
Yes,
that all the ENT surgeons started complaining. Ever since you started practicing in our area, we are not getting tonsil cases because no tonsil will happen.
yes,
And
sir.
the large tonsil adenoids, when zinc is supplemented, will completely involute. So many postgraduate thesis research programs we have done. So there is something fantastic in our hands. It only needs to be implemented. We should not rely on the policy making fellows because they have their own ulterior agendas. No, we don't want them. We have our own health promoting methodology. We will advocate it in the public and make India strong and vibrant and a leading developed country with yours and Paul's help.
That's good, sir. So I just want
Yeah.
to a few more issues which can be discussed. One is air pollution and health aspects, health issues. That's one thing. Second thing is water pollution and health aspects is already well known. Then nutrition and health aspects is very well known. Already you have covered some of them. One important thing is pollution, air pollution and heart disease is recently is very important in
Yeah,
Delhi.
now in that regard, I was, initially Delhi CM had an idea. Alternate numbers will use the road one day, even numbers will use the other to reduce the traffic. But let us have a look at the what is the major thing precipitates the particle per square centimeter per in the air, the density of that. How can we bring that out? We have what is called electrostatic precipitators. Have large electrostatic precipitators. I had a small one in my room. Full room full of dust. I switch it on. In about half an hour, the room is absolutely dust free. If that
Yes.
is an amazing technology, why don't we use it on a much larger scale? Have huge electrostatic precipitators. In about 2 hours, the entire city will be dust free. Why are we not investing in such things? Number one. Number two, we are talking of water scarcity. Bangalore is now starving. But look at air water generators. Myself and Paul went to three engineering colleges to work out this phenomenon. And how does the American army survive in the desert? Anywhere in the world, the relative humidity is not zero. A little amount of humidity will be there. So we have this air water generator. You look at 70% of the planet Earth is water, and if you look above, so much of clouds. Can't we easily, very easily generate enough amount of water from that? We can. There is a company in Delhi, a small fridge-like thing. It generates about 1,000 liters per day. No requirement of water connection, nothing. So in a building, I told my management when we're having trouble with water for our hostel, invest in a huge machine in a huge about 10 lakhs it costs, it'll generate 20, 30, 40,000 of water. We can easily, in 1 minute, we can solve the water problem, but we don't have the will.
Yes, sir.
That's and when the water comes from the atmosphere, it is crystal clear. No need of purifying. It is directly from the cloud we are getting. No, and I showed Paul once a way in which we are directly generating water from the cloud, and the water was in my room, and I took a photograph and sent it to him. And then we are in discussion with the engineering colleges, and that thing is being done. Once we have it, two things will end, which the government is still not realizing. Two things. Number one, farmer suicide. How much of drought and farmer suicide is happening? Number two, millions of dollars of forest fires. Once we have the water generator small machine spread across forest, no forest fire will happen because everything will be moist. And the third thing is the huge church that got burnt down because the top floor suddenly caught fire. That will not happen. There is a look at the cloud. We tried cloud seeding, then we tried all sorts of rubbish. No, there in research there is one line. The answer is in front of you, yet man searches forever far. We try going up in the plane, go into the cloud, put some silver something, and then try to see it. Nothing will happen. All that is required is I need to quote one sentence from a novel actually that I read. Look at the cold bottle of beer perspiring. I just bring out a cold bottle, just put it there. It will condense moisture in the atmosphere. Enough amount of water will form. But
Yes.
unfortunately, that policy thinking and that thing is not there. Maybe a little while, once my health improves, we will develop the technology. Two things will happen. Farmer suicide. You will not come across a single area which is drought. Everything will be moist, and little amount of drip irrigation is the way to go. A little drip is enough. We don't have to pour water. And imagine if we have about 5 or 10 machines which were minutely designed in a huge farm, entire farm will be healthy. We will not have forest fires which are so rampant around the world because the forest will be moist. So that is the end of water pollution. The end of air pollution, electrostatic precipitators, have it on a much bigger scale. It will completely draw all the pollution in the air. It is so easy. If you look at what are called negative ion generators, we can buy it in the market. Put one in your room, shine a torch, it will be filled with dust. Switch it on. Half an hour later, the room will be dust free. So if we can have it on a smaller miniature level, have it on a major platform.
True, sir. So, having a proper air and proper nutrition is one of the important rights of every human. Now, the third thing
Yeah.
which your opinion is the sound pollution, sir. Of late, we hear so many at the ground level, many functions and playing DJ sounds. That also is leading to a sound pollution also.
Now, yeah, now the thing is, especially about sound pollution. Now I am in Ireland, and they have very clear, strict standards. Beyond 8 o'clock, when everybody students are studying 8 o'clock, you cannot have a sound decibel of more than 40 dB outside a house. If there is, you can file a police complaint. They will finish it off. Number one. Number two, huge sound produced in factories. My dedication for Amar G. Bose. He's an Indian but settled in America. What a brain. We should encourage and recognize his brain. Amar Bose said, if there is a sound which is a wave which has got a positive and negative phase, generate a sound opposite to it. If
Yes,
a
sir.
sound is being made by a factory, generate a sound opposite to it. And he brought out that machine that generates a sound opposite to the sound, for example, in a helicopter or in a factory. And then he brought out this thing, and that when the moment it is switched on, for example, in a helicopter, and I've tried that. I recently I had a ship boiler engineer because of high sound he was losing hearing, and I asked him to go buy this Bose noise suppressor. There are
Yes,
huge noise suppressors which are in noise pollution area. The moment you switch it on, the entire area becomes silent. What a
so,
miracle it is! Oh my God, what a miracle! And
so
sound pollution, we should. It's high time that anyhow we are. It is nice that they have completely wiped out the high air horns because they brought in a law. And similarly, like in Ireland, after 8 o'clock or whatever, beyond a decibel, no sound should come out. If it is so, there will be a police complaint, and they will come and confiscate and finish it off. That law should be there because you can't unnecessarily hit on somebody else's well-being by generating something which is to your and we can't do that.
that's important.
Yeah.
So, the thing is, in India, the regulatory authorities do not work properly when these high decibel sounds are played actually.
Yeah,
Because
one thing I regret is that I did not do law. How many cases we could have finished off? A person with an LLB degree is a very powerful weapon. You can't touch him. Nobody will touch him. I have done engineering, I have done advanced computer software, I have done wireless telecommunication, but law is something I did not do. And I regret that very much now. So
so,
the three things which now we have large electrostatic negative ion generators in various crucial areas of the city. In 1 hour, the city will be pollution free. We have water generator, atmospheric water generator. If you put on the net and you look at the company, you have around the city, there is enough water available. You can't see large clouds scurrying across. Just tap them. No, that's all the water problem, and it's all the forest drought problem. And the third is about um, the problem of that
and
also can be so. It takes just a mindset to do the sound pollution. Wherever there's a factory, by law it should be mandated. If you're producing sound, it is not the masking of the sound. You let them order this thing. Let our country, Amar G. Bose Sound Dynamics, now it is run by his son. Order from them. Just switch on the machine. The entire area will be sound free. No sound. There's a new device called Muso. If you are in a, for example, if you are in a house or in your restaurant, lot of noise around the restaurant, you can't hear the opposite party talk. Is a small machine called Muso, and you place it on the table and switch it on. It generates an invisible field around you. Your entire field will be sound free.
what is the
Enough
spelling of
technology is
what is the spelling of
Muso,
the
Muso, Muzo, Muso. I'll send the link to Paul. He'll forward to you. It's a machine, and it initially it was on Kickstarter, but after that they finalized and brought it out as a successful machine. And so it's a small device. Anywhere that you are, just put it on the wall and switch it on. Your area will be absolutely silent. So
so the
technology is advanced in such a way that we
so,
can do. Only we must have the mindset and the brilliance to apply it.
yes, sir. So the lastly, we have considered the air pollution, sound pollution, and even the sound pollution, even the water pollution are considered. Sir. Now,
Yes.
finally, one of the important things like the as per the these things, my health, my right, as a human rights issue, those with disabilities, women, and those with HIV and medical
Yeah.
professionals. These four things will consider and we can close the discussion, sir. Those with
Yeah.
disabilities say that these people have got the right to health. They should be without any stigma. All those with disability, like in our country, still we need to go a long way, like in elsewhere in the world. Like people with disabilities elsewhere in the world, there's no stigma properly, and even the inclusivity is seen very clearly. Like when they like when in a building, in a cinema hall, transportation.
Yeah, I think because of the newer laws which have been enacted, all buildings should be, they don't say disability, challenged for
Like those
human,
physically
yeah,
challenged.
challenge, yeah, physically challenged people should have. So I've seen in India now many hotels and many everywhere, physically challenged access ramp is there, lift is there, and it's amazing that in the airport in Doha, Qatar, on my way, I was in a very bad, I was in a wheelchair. So, how to get onto the plane? They took me into a huge truck. Three of us were there on the wheelchair. They took us into the huge truck, inside the truck. Then the entire lower platform completely came up. It was amazing to see that. It
So,
came up to the level of the aircraft entry and they just wheeled us in. So, technology is now advancing that anybody with any disability, they can be well handled.
very important. Still, we need to go a long way in our country, actually. As far as
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
second thing is
So,
mental health. Like everyone, everywhere, like considering them that they should have a good mental health. So, still dealing with these with mental health is an important thing in our country. So, our
no,
country.
the thing is, before I actually went on to my PG, I was running a psychiatric hospital. And it
Okay.
was so sad to see this so many people suffer from schizophrenia, psychosomatics, so many mental disorders. But then, um, recently, what happened, one it takes an event to sort of change the course of history. One patient who was highly obese, also having mental problem, and then depression because of obesity. One doctor made him lose weight by going into what is called a time restricted feeding and a ketosis diet. Now, that patient, when he went on to that diet, his mental illness disappeared. Then it struck a note on that particular doctor, and he did a series of tests, and to his amazement, found 100% mental illness can be cured. He brought out a book. You must read that book by Christopher Palmer, and that book is called Brain Energy. He said nobody should suffer from mental illness. If you in that book, according to the if I'm going through it right now, Brain Energy by Christopher Palmer, and when you look into that, 100% mental illness can be cured. It's for me, it's more a dietary problem than otherwise. We are not
Yes.
focusing on diet at all. And
Yes,
in
sir.
that regard, hats off to him for writing a book and bringing it out. I ordered it on Amazon, 2000 rupees it cost, but what a book it is. So
So,
imagine we have a health advisory. No, I mean, for doctors to understand, study, and implement it, it will take another 100 years, I suppose, unless you have the mental willingness to accept change. We bring out a health advisory to the country. If you stick with the diet, 100% mental illness will not happen. What it takes? It takes a person like a media guy like Paul, bring it out into the public. 100% mental illness, according to Christopher Palmer, brain energy, 100% even schizophrenia can be cured. What a magic it is. Yeah,
so
what a magic.
oh, thanks for your opinion on these important aspects. So now the next thing is women health is one important thing which needs to be considered both at the birth level and the deliveries, pregnancies. Women health gives more important and some violence from other aspects. Women should be protected. That's one important thing. Disabilities we have already considered. Mental health is considered. Now another important thing as far as the human rights issue is concerned, sir, is those with HIV. Like we see
The problem is I'm feeling hungry. Talking for so long on an
oh,
empty stomach. Paul myself have a break
another
actually at 11.
5 minutes, another five
Yeah,
minutes,
sure, sure.
five
Yeah, yeah,
minutes.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
Those
yes.
really need to be taken care of. And with another point, we will close the session, sir. So
Yeah.
lastly, the this particular issue says that even those with medical professionals, both the nursing staff, medical professionals, doctors, they must not be attacked. They should not be used for military purposes. They must be protected all times. And in war and conflict, health workers, healthcare facilities, and supplies, they are off limits. So this is very important thing. Like right now, we can see sometimes war going on, and sometimes in the routine situation, the ground level, sometimes the nursing homes are attacked, and
Yeah, now,
these things.
for
So
example, yesterday's event that happened in Gaza, there is the thing called the Medicine Lee Last Frontier. Medicine
yes,
Lee Sans Frontier, Medicine Without Boundaries. Now, these people go to war
yes,
area and help. 8 workers who were working in Gaza, they were attacked by
yes,
Israel. They said, "Oh, we didn't know they were health workers," and they were killed. 8 health workers the day before yesterday it happened, and then the United States stepped in yesterday. I'm so glad that they did that. And yesterday, because it happened day before yesterday, the United States said you are pushing things a bit too far. That's a great thing Biden has done. And yesterday they have announced a ceasefire. All the Israeli troops are being withdrawn. They have achieved a ceasefire because of the overwhelming exposure of 8 health workers who died in Israel. But then in a war zone, how much can we protect them? This is a violent war area. So you got to be very careful when a person goes and helps people. But that is something, and it's an inevitable consequence of war. Exactly how to only protect the health workers, unless there is a particular Red Cross force to look after them, maybe it should happen. But because these 8 health workers died day before yesterday, yesterday they issued a decree. You're pushing things a bit too far. We are going to act. Yesterday they announced ceasefire. All the Israeli troops have been withdrawn. I hope
yes.
such things happen elsewhere. But health workers need to be very careful. In a war zone, you are vulnerable. Just as much as so many people are killed, who are they? The media people. The how many media people have been killed because they have exposed so many things. This is a job-related vulnerability, and these are things they should be very careful when they accept these assignments. That
Thank
is
you,
how
sir.
it is.
Thank you, sir. And Dr. Devan said it's been a very pleasant meet for the last more than half an hour regarding learning from you and some important aspects on this on the regard.
Sometimes some of my words, even though I'm forthright, has been not very pleasant because I don't appreciate WHO at all. I don't appreciate the many things because sometimes it is too bad things are happening this way.
Yes,
They said,
sir.
when I traveled, they said, if you don't have a vaccine, we will not allow you to. It is my right. It is my right whether to inject something into my body. I don't approve what you're doing. I went into the original document how the vaccine is produced and how it can suddenly cause fatal attacks in people. But they said no. Then I said, if something happened, are you willing to take on the responsibility? That is an informed consent. You are asking my consent, and then you're injecting into me. Something happens to me. I die. Who will look after my family? You give 1 crore to my family because of vaccine. I die. Did that happen? No. In India, we forced everybody to take a vaccine. How many people died? Who will be held responsible for that? Will the government pay? No. The government just washed its hands off. No, that's an unethical and illegal thing the government has done by forcing people to take a vaccine, and then suddenly so many people die. And they say informed consent I took, but in that consent, there is no liability. You see how bad things are. So somehow I think doctors should unite, stand
Yes, sir.
tall and firm. And anybody who criticizes and belittles a doctor, he should be taken task. For example, Amir Khan, so much bad he said about the doctors. No, the doctor forum should unite and say boycott the fellow. Nobody has any how much pain it is to become a doctor. And this fellow talks about utter nonsense about doctors. Completely boycott him, finish him off. That's the way it should be. We must have unity, strength, and fight. We should have the strength to fight and make sure doctors are placed on the highest pedestal and the greatest recognition.
That's true. So ultimately, we'll close this session, sir, and have one more in the near future with you. It was a pleasant experience. on this World Health Day, My Health, My Right, we have considered what is the human rights issue, how public, individuals, and the government should act as far as the individual health is concerned, and even the role of hospitals, governments in apart from providing health resources at a providing good availability, good acceptability, and accessible health services and accountable and quality health services. We have considered the role of air pollution, sound pollution, or noise pollution, and even the water pollution, and about the role of considering women health, treating HIV individuals, and as far as their human rights issue is concerned, and we have considered the lastly, we have given a good opinion about how doctors need to be protected, healthcare facilities need to be protected, and about the role of nutrition as far as the health is concerned, particularly in relation to cancer. You have given a very good opinion, sir, and it was a pleasant meeting with you. Thank you, sir, and looking forward to more such meets in the near future. Thank you so much.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. It's been an edifying moment and
Thank you.
really uplifting and inspiring talking to you.
Thank you so much, sir. We'll
Thank
end
you,
the
thank you, thank you. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you.